Chicago, Illinois. Eastern Conference semifinals. They're at the Madhouse on Madison Street, the home of the world champion Chicago Bulls. This is game one of the Eastern Conference semis. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who got past New Jersey 3-2, and the Bulls, who swept Atlanta with very little difficulty, set to do battle once again. The playoff routine for these Chicago Bulls, going way back to 1988, 4 of the last 6 years, has been brush their teeth, call the agent, buy a new Mercedes, and beat the Cavs. In 88, they got them 3-2. 89, 3-2, first rounders. And last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Bulls seem to feel when it comes playoff time. Remember last year when the Bulls swept Miami, they came in and lost the first game to the New York Knicks. Now, let's talk about a problem Cleveland and everybody has, the Jordan problem.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? You know Jordan's going to get his points. The thing that Cleveland feels real good about, though, is they brought Gerald Wilkins in, and they feel Gerald, with his quickness off the bench, can match up against Michael. Wilkins will get a lot of minutes. No one can stop Michael alone. They'll need help.
All right, it's time for the Jeep Eagles starting matchups. You talked about Jordan and Elo, and then later Wilkins will be playing Jordan. What about the other key matchups?
Well, of course, Price has not played all that well. Did not play all that well in the first series, so how he plays in this game is going to be important. Larry Nance is the guy that helps out a lot on defense, and that's the reason why I pointed out Grant's ability to get to the offensive boards. Cleveland will have to have rotation away from the ball when Nance goes to help out.
Here's Cartwright out of that triangle offense. Jordan from 19. 4-0 Chicago. 2 minutes gone in the first quarter. Jordan with the drive on Sanders. Nance got there too late to help out.
Puts a guy that is far too slow against Michael Jordan. Now, you see the isolation here, and Michael just makes the move to the baseline. Sanders tries. Nance comes over, as he always will do.
Here in 1993. Cleveland on a 19-6 run. They needed 21-16. Jordan puts a stop to that, as he has done so many times before.
Coming in with their offensive player, Will Perdue, took a seat on the bench.
Their offensive player takes it straight to the hoop.
Man, did you see how quickly he got to the basket?
At the end of one, the Cavs lead it 21-20, but the question remains, can Cleveland stop Michael Jordan? He once scored 69 points against this team.
Trouble with his knee, and he just was not moving as well in game 3.
Jordan backing in. There's the double team. Very comfortable off top, but Michael goes over the double team, off the glass, and has 10 points.
Ahmed, that was about as easy as Mike Sanders is going to get.
Jordan at the free throw line kicks it to Paxson. How many times have we seen that?
Brings back memories of last season.
5 seconds to shoot for Paxson. Jordan against Wilkins. The lean in. He's fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Well, he sat back as long as he could and waited to see if his other guys were going to get it going. As I say, he has the ability to take over, and he'll have spurts where he might score 15 points in a row for Chicago. And this is one of those spurts, as he's been able to take over this game.
Cavs by 2. Jordan can cut it to 1. Jordan has hit his last 4 field goals, now has 12 points.
I don't know that there's anyone in the league that can respond as quickly as Michael can, and he'll take this right onto the hole, I would imagine.
Pass Nance.
Yeah. I mean, he understands the mismatch very, very well, and of course he's going to use his quickness, take it right to the hole. Recognizing the mismatch, that's what it's all about right here. Larry Nance waiting for some help to come, and just doesn't. Michael sees that and says, yes, this is going to be easy. Takes it right to the hole. Has no problem scoring that time. Of course, Nance doesn't want to be out there left alone. Michael would get it going. Elo would become.
I did that game a couple of years ago in Cleveland when Craig Elo said, I think. Well, when he twisted that ankle.
Folks at the Omni.
Chicago jumped out to an easy 8-0 lead at the start of this ball game, hitting 5 of their first 6 shots, but Cleveland came back with a 19-6 run in the second quarter. coming closely after Horace Grant turned his ankle, even though Horace Grant came back and played the rest of the way, and then held on narrowly to a 47-46 lead. And I'd say the only thing that's really news here is Cleveland held Michael Jordan to 19 points in the first half.
Well, you know, Michael's going to get his points as he does always. But I think what was real important about this first half for the Cavs is that they did not allow Michael to get a whole bunch of shots at the basket. He shot a high percentage, but you'll see right here, Cleveland was going to pick their opportunities to double team. They did, and Michael did just what Michael's going to do. He scored anyway. I mean, it might be better just to let him go. 19 points, 7 of 16 shooting for Michael.
And go with those 3 steals. He also had 1 blocked shot. Cartwright played the first quarter, set out most of the second with 2 fouls. Stacey King came in and played well off the bench for him. Jordan has 21. Bill Cartwright gets another rebound. Cartwright has 5 now. Jordan from long range. Oh my, 23 for Michael.
And for Cleveland so far, they haven't been able to do that. Nice block.
Goaltending called on Larry Nance.
And with Michael Jordan, you just simply have to try to run some help at him. You'll see him just take Craig Ehlo off the dribble right here. Look, no one gets to him. No one makes a real strong attempt to block the shot. Nothing that makes him change it up. And then watch right here. Mike Sanders once again matched up against Jordan. The first time he took him right to the hole. This time Sanders has to back.
Cartwright to Jordan.
That's the time, the first time Wilkins has allowed Michael to just step around him. Very easy that time. Allowed them to get out on the break and get the easy baskets. They took that away, kept the score down to this point to where they wanted, and they have a shot here to win this.
Michael Jordan.
They've been platooning those guys, trying to keep fresh legs on Michael as much as possible.
Takes him right past those fresh legs. From high above the basket, Michael just dropped it in. Michael Jordan, second chance after his slip here.
Well, you'll see him slip right here. Now, they don't play the double team, the pick and roll well at all. Now, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I don't even know, Bob. Maybe you can get up and block that one. But not many people are going to block. Watch how high and how quickly he gets up off the floor. Brad Daugherty caught between steps, could not go up, and he goes up over everyone, just lays that one. Good job by Gerald Wilkins that time. I mean, real good body position.
Stacey King, who came off the bench for an excellent performance in the second quarter, takes it to the hole again, and he is fouled.
See, when you're playing against the Chicago Bulls, the one thing that you want to protect against is another guy coming in and hurting you. This guy, Stacey King, has played very well, 3 of 3 from the field.
Tonight, they are 11 of 14.
There's Scotty.
They brought him to their feet in Chicago.
And a good use of the screen. A nice play that time by Chicago. The back screen.
3 seconds to shoot. Pippen against Grant. Gerald Wilkins fell down. 3 seconds. Jordan. Oh, my.
Well, what you're going to see here is a nice pass from Michael. What you do not see on this play is the screen that Stacey King put on Larry Nance to free up Scottie Pippen that time, and you saw the reaction. I mentioned Nance struggling in this game. He had 9 points in the first half, 6 here in the second period.
Michael Jordan makes it 9, and Michael has 35. 7 rebounds for Scott Williams in this game. Jordan's quick turnaround. Jordan over 2 players. 4:16 to go, Bulls by 9.
I'm just waiting to hear what Gerald Wilkins has to say after the game.
Wilkins picks up the foul, and that'll be number 5.
Number 5, about his ability to guard Michael. Maybe he should offer up an apology to Michael, and maybe that will take the emotion away that Michael seems to be playing on in accepting the challenge that Gerald Wilkins made to him.
I don't sense an apology.
I don't either. I don't either. And it's just one game.
Michael has 40. Look at the difference. The Cavs really struggling. It's a reverse. The Bulls struggled all year long. Said he thought he could stop Michael Jordan, or at least limit him. He's held him to 41 points.
Well, he's not done that all by himself, and that's what he'll say after the game. A lot of these points coming against someone else. Gerald thought he could do more of this force Michael to shoot the fall-away shot, the lower percentage shot. Instead, we've seen a whole bunch more of this. Michael Jordan using his quickness to get around him, the tongue dangling, as is the case normally when he goes to the hole. And look at the reaction. He's just shaking his head. No, you can't stop me, is what he is saying to Gerald Wilkins.
3 times in his playoff career, Michael Jordan has scored 50-plus against this team. He has 42 points here tonight. When Mark Price sat down, by the way, you know, Mark had a good first half with 13 points, 14 points. He sat down late in this ball game and never came back in. The Bulls now lead it by 9 with 1:25 to go. And the Bulls get a 91-84 lead. Michael Jordan gets 43 points, is going to join us tableside here. Maybe we can chat with him a little bit about the matchup he had with Gerald Wilkins as we make way for Michael to come over and have a seat. Michael, I'll let you get on this headset. You're getting used to this. The question, obviously, we want to talk to you about is your contest with Gerald Wilkins out there. I know he wasn't the only guy playing you. How about that? Are you on there?
Well, you know, Gerald's a great defensive player, and he's a competitor. And he came into the series knowing that he was brought to Cleveland for one reason, that was try to stop me and contain me as much as possible, which I respect him in that manner. But it's a challenge for me as well. So I look at it as a challenge. The Jordan stopper had a tough time tonight. He's going to be ready to come back the next game, but so am I.
Now, if you're, this is kind of a curveball question. If you're Cleveland, what do you do to adjust with you guys?
Well, you know, Cleveland's got to look at it. They were a little tired. They're coming off a 5-game series. I think the first game is more or less an evaluation of how the team is playing. And then the second game is the biggest key because you got to make adjustments. And Cleveland is a team that knows how to make adjustments. They're very, very smart. So, you know, we didn't play extremely well tonight, but, you know, we've been off for 7 days, and this is a good win for us.
Well, I thought with the fact that Cleveland held you to 5 points below your average over the season, over the regular season, that gave them encouragement. That's one reason I think Gerald Wilkins made that statement, but as is normally the case, you raised your play once again.
Well, this is the playoffs, and as a leader, you have to step in and cover the loopholes, and offensively, I had to carry that load for a while. So, you know, I did my best.
Ankles have been a problem. You had one in Chicago, Pippen, in Atlanta. Pippen's had his. How about Horace Grant? What's the story on him right now?
Hopefully Horace is going to come back. He's having a tough time with his ankles right now, but, you know, he's going to be a big, tough player for us. He'll be back.
Now, Mike, you talk about adjustments. What do you anticipate Cleveland making, and then in your team schemes, what adjustments do you might have to make?
Well, I think Price is going to be implemented into play a little bit. Doherty certainly going to try to defensively try to control me as much as possible.
Good game, Michael.
Michael Jordan with 43 points here tonight as the Chicago Bulls get the second round, first game win, 91-84 over the Cleveland Cavaliers and lead the series 1-0.